Do you think ADA will still outperform BTC in the future?
Of course, because how much farther can Bitcoin go? Maybe to 1 million. Okay, it's a 10x. ADA can go 100x, 1000x over this. It's like, guys, we're not a second-class citizen. Cardano does substantially more, and because of Bitcoin DeFi, it's going to end up probably being the yield layer of Bitcoin.
All right, so that is very, very positive. Obviously, the ADA devotees out there are going to love this clip. They're going to love this news, but I would argue that it's also time, it's probably actually overdue, that the non-ADA army kind of starts paying attention to what's going on here. Because over the last month, ADA has triggered a signal that a lot of traders, for the most part, the vast majority have completely missed. But kind of as usual, the smart money did notice. The whales did notice the signal. It's a combination of on-chain momentum and developer growth that doesn't often happen. And then during that same time frame, we saw Cardano's ecosystem enjoy a series of developments, most of which we've covered on this channel. And again, a lot of investors have overlooked this. And so all of this represents the impetus and the rationale as to why we ourselves bought 2,734 ADA specifically. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why. We're going to go over the data, the charts, the signals that made us take on this position. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie, and this is Altcoin Buzz. TGIF, happy Friday. All the best of luck if you choose to invest. Maybe that's ADA or something else entirely, but either way, I do wish you well. Just remember, I am not a financial or investment advisor, nor is this video official financial or investment advice. So, first of all, I would have to argue that while a lot of other projects in crypto tend to dip kind of in and out of popularity, Cardano, by contrast, tends to remain in the spotlight more perennially. And obviously, a big part of that has come down to its charismatic leadership. Charles Hoskinson is the founder and CEO. Among other things, he was also the co-founder of Ethereum, but that's another story for another video. Let's focus on some of the news, some of the updates and the announcements that have come out of Cardano recently. Of course, and as you probably know, there are multiple ETF approvals that are lined up with the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission right now. Grayscale, for example, filed an ADA ETF. And as it happens, the SEC pushed the final decision on this ETF back to the 26th of October, which just gives them more time to review the application. However, there is strong investor anticipation of a Cardano spot ETF approval at some point this year, 2025. And this could boost demand pretty significantly, logically, for the price of ADA. And so as a result, we did see a nice 5% bump in terms of ADA price on the 5th and on the 7th. This pushed its price close to 90 cents. As I record right now, we're down off of that enthusiasm, just under 82 cents right now, with a just under $30 billion market cap, $29.99 billion. Enthusiasm has dipped a little bit, but not that much. As per Polymarket here, there's still a 91% chance, as per the wisdom of the crowd, people actually putting their money where their mouth is, placing actual bets. The wisdom of the crowd suggests that there will be some form of Cardano ETF approval in 2025, 91%. But we also saw that the SEC has asked various ETF issuers to withdraw their 19B4 filings. The Cardano ETF was part of that, and this kind of indicates that there should be a faster approval process. And on its own, that was very good news, but of course we have to deal with the US government shutdown. As long as that lasts, the SEC works at really a snail's pace. So this is one of those factors, despite all the other positivity, that is working against this approval. So there's some good, there's some bad, but for the most part, those factors are beyond the control of Cardano. Let's focus kind of more internally to the stuff that as a project they are controlling. And I'll start with staking, which is a big deal. Staking ADA became an option back in July of 2020. That was with the Shelley update. However, we now see two new and recent staking updates. One is eToro, that now offers staking ADA in the United States. eToro, by the way, is not to be underestimated. They do have around 40 million users in the United States alone. I find that's a shocking stat, but there you go, 40 million Americans using it. That's a massive boost right there. And then, of course, another massive update concerning staking on Cardano is stablecoin staking. This is huge because it entirely removes that variable of volatility that staking crypto assets inherently entails. The Cardano Treasury is planning to boost liquidity with 50 million ADA. This includes stablecoin liquidity, of course. And really, this is all part of the stablecoin DeFi liquidity budget proposal. Currently, around 57% of all ADA is staked, and that represents a very strong figure. Cardano Summits are conferences that occur each year and just tend to cover the highlights of what's going on with Cardano and its community. You can expect new announcements and project launches generally. It's a great opportunity also to connect with Cardano community members and their projects, what's going on. This year it is taking place in Berlin, Germany, between the 11th and the 13th of November. And then finally, in terms of updates, we have the Glacier airdrop claiming period, which saw a 16-day extension. So that means instead of finishing just a few days ago on the 4th of October, it's now going to finish on the 20th of October. By the way, this was done to resolve wallet and hardware compatibility issues. Quick shout out to Surge here. This is our risk-free prediction game that's available on Telegram. And in this game, you just swipe left or right. You can kind of think Hamster Combat or even Tinder. You're swiping to guess whether a crypto asset pumps or dumps. And in the process, you earn rewards. And actually, hopefully, you can pick up some market skills as well while you're at it in the form of technical analysis. They've also kicked off a weekly giveaway. It's a contest that is super simple. Every week, there's a coin of the week. This week, it is Tau, T-A-O. And all you have to do is swipe to find it in the Surge app. Then once you see it, screenshot it and then drop it under their tweet. One random reply wins $50 in USDT. It is super easy, but in order to win and have a chance at winning, of course, you have to at least participate. So check out Surge, have some fun swiping, and maybe snag some cool prizes along the way. Check out the links, the URLs in the description of this video below to participate. We've actually covered Cardano a lot recently. So, it's kind of that expression, it's hard to see the forest through the trees kind of thing. And it's also easy to forget what Cardano is actually all about. Quick refresher here on the project. And we go back to 2015 for this. That's when Charles Hoskinson founded Cardano. The ADA ICO, the initial coin offering, was in 2017. That raised no less than $60 million. Its price, brace yourself, this is going to sound painful, but its price was $0.0025 cent. That's about a 350x from its current price, like I said, of the low 80-cent range. However, it's also a 1,287 times to its all-time high of $3.09. And the very first version of the Cardano chain launched all the way back in September 2017. Since that time, of course, it's seen various upgrades. What makes Cardano unique as a project is the fact that it really is neck deep in peer-reviewed academic research. So that means formal and staged and structured roadmaps as well as proposals. And Cardano also uses a unique hard fork combinator technology for seamless transitions. The network is currently also in transition. It's moving towards a fully decentralized governance model, giving control to the community, to ADA holders. The Cardano consensus mechanism is called Orouboros. It's also very unique. It is a mechanism that agrees on the validity of transactions, and it also agrees on the state of the shared ledger without a central authority. This kind of mechanism also ensures things like security, it prevents dishonest behavior, and it guarantees that all nodes in the network maintain a single consistent version of the data. It does this by providing rules for adding, changing, or deleting any information. So like I said, this consensus mechanism goes by the name of Orouboros. This is the first provably secure proof of stake or POS protocol, and it addresses the weaknesses of earlier consensus mechanisms by combining cryptology, game theory, mathematical proofs, and so it provides a very robust, sustainable, and I think the team would argue scalable solution. And actually the way it's set up right now, purportedly, the Cardano blockchain is technically and theoretically infinitely scalable. This Altcoin Buzz Spotlight video is sponsored by Walrus Protocol, which has the fastest solution for data storage on the market today. It's from the team behind Sui. And their token and airdrop were a huge success. Walrus is already a top 150 coin. In fact, it's so resilient that even with only a few nodes operating, your data availability will not be affected. Decentralized data storage on Walrus is solving the big problem of data availability and integrity. And this is especially important for AI models and their data sets. Decentralized AI solutions are important to many of us in the industry and many of you as well. And really the last thing that we'd want to see is having to give up our data for free again, like we did with social media and a lot of the big Web 2 companies. But AI models are big, huge databases that need training on one end and specialized limited access on the consumer end. Walrus was built exactly for this. Its specialty in large pieces of unstructured data means storing models to train to your liking on your private data is easier and cheaper than ever before. And Seal helps you control who accesses it. That means you can use Walrus to create an AI app to sell to others with the user permissions and controls you need. So try Walrus today. Whether you need it to store an NFT or an entire AI model, you get the same smooth, fast, and cheap storage service. Follow Walrus on X for more updates and check out the link in the description below. So why exactly did we buy 2,734 ADA? Let's begin with a little bit of TA, or technical analysis. The current price right now is 82 cents. In early November 2024, we've got to remember that the price jumped from 33 cents to $1.23 in only 1 month. That represents a nice 3.7x. So let's take those 33 cents as support. In my opinion, it doesn't look like ADA is going back there anytime soon. And at the same time, we can take the $1.23 kind of local high from December 2024, the 7th specifically, we can consider that to be resistance. After early March in 2025, earlier this year, ADA didn't breach the $1 mark. So that's a good goal to keep in mind. However, its all-time high is $3.09 from 4 years ago. That's about a 3.7x from where we are right now. We also shouldn't forget the size of Cardano's market cap. Like I said, just under $30 billion right now. So there's not that much room for growth in terms of agility. It's not a tiny little nimble altcoin project. Nevertheless, there's still enough room for growth. And again, that's why we purchased those 2,734 ADA. Just for the sake of round numbers, I'm going to round up the current price of ADA from 82 cents to 85 cents for these calculations here. With that metric, we take 2,734 ADA. That's currently worth $2,332. With that current price of 85 cents, it would take over 1.1 million ADA to be a crypto millionaire, of course. And if we take that $1.23 resistance level, we consider that would require 813,000 ADA to achieve crypto millionaire status. But with a push above 96 cents, Ali Martinez on X believes that ADA could hit a $1.90 price tag. With that figure, you would need 526,316 ADA to have 7 figures in your crypto account or portfolio, whatever you want to call it. Unicharts is eyeing a $2.18 and $3.10 price for ADA. Respectively, at those prices, we would need 458,000 and 322,000 ADA for that millionaire status. If we were to break into new all-time high territory, let's say $4, pretty easy math here. If the price of ADA is $4, then you're going to need 250,000 ADA to join the ranks of a crypto millionaire. And honestly, I'd say that's probably about as good as it can get with Cardano. That's probably the most optimistic case. We don't want to be too hyperbolic here. $4 is kind of already pushing the boundary, in my humble opinion. But look, I could be wrong. It's a great project fundamentally. Where do you think the price of ADA is going to go in this cycle between now and, let's say, the first half of 2026? Let me know in the comments below, and also be sure to join our social media discussions. Those are on X, those are on Discord, and you can find the links in the description below.